Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Score Science. My name is Luke and this is the post-match for Blackpool versus Everton. Blackpool 2, Everton 4. Now that is a lot more like it. The general play and the general attitudes of the players all around in that game today was an absolute stark difference from what we had against Minnesota. There was a lot more progressive play. We were doing a lot more in terms of attacking and pushing forwards. We were doing everything by the books properly, apart from a couple of things. First one being marking when it comes to set pieces, and just secondly was just allowing their attack to sort of run us. Now, the first goal that we conceded, that was mostly down to Pickford trying to be too much of a bloody superstar. He tried to make a save that was just severely unnecessary. It backfired severely and Blackpool scored because of it. Second one was through no real fault of Pickford's, however, it was for the marking in the defence, came from a corner, and they were able to just get a free hit off on it, and it went in. That's a shame. However, we scored 4 goals. We got the ball rolling pretty much within the first 10 to 15 minutes, because we scored 2 in rapid succession. First one being an absolutely brilliant cross through to Vitali Mykolenko from Nathan Patterson. So what ends up happening is they went down the right. Patterson brought it through to Ben Godfrey. Ben Godfrey brought it back to him. He put a nice cross in. Mykolenko was able to meet it and launch it into the net. It was absolutely spot on. It was the best goal I've seen so far this pre-season by Everton. Now the second goal, I'm just trying to remember who scored the second goal. Who scored the second goal? Oh, I know. So the second goal was brought on through Solomon Rondon to Dom Davies. So what happened is Solomon Rondon was able to play the last man perfectly. He had pretty much kept himself on line with their last man, and as the ball came, he basically lost his man, got far ahead, and the Blackpool line ended up sort of stumbling and stuttering, putting their hands up to say, hey, he's offside. And in a game of football, never do that. When it comes to that sort of game, play to the whistle. That's something that has been, well, it should have been pretty much beaten into every single player from the Premier League all the way down to Sunday League. You play for the whistle. You never try and stop. Never put your hands up. Never complain to the ref or anything like that. Just keep playing until you hear that whistle go. And that's one of the main reasons why we ended up scoring, because Rondon was able to get down his line, brought it in, nice hard, lowish cross through to Tom Davies, where he was able to get his body onto it and get it into the net. Cracking little goal. Great to see Tom Davies getting himself on the score sheet again. Hopefully this could be potentially his wake-up call. Because bear in mind, we've had players like this in the past. When it comes to like Phil Neville and Tony Hibbert, the two of them, when they came into the squads, they were absolutely despised by the Everton fan base initially. Just for the fact they just weren't putting the effort in. Every time they had the ball, they'd lose it. The pass would be wrong. And then he ends up just becoming an integral part of our team and ends up becoming one of the linchpins of a squad. So hopefully this could be that little point for Tom Davies to actually push forward, improve and become a better player. Now, as I said, near the latter part of the first half, they did score, and it was because of a Jordan Pickford's error. So what happened is they took a shot. Jordan Pickford tried to do his little superstar, like, flashy save where he tried to use the other hand and try and bring it across his body to get it. And that failed miserably. Basically, what ends up happening is he parried the ball sideways instead of either pushing away or pushing it over the bar. It parried sideways where he could have just made a simple grab and catch. He had to basically do a starfish and try and do a simple, a stupid bloody save. I'm getting my words mixed up here, but to be honest, it's just because my mind's sort of warping around the concept of him trying to do something so simple yet managing to screw it up. It was a simple save that he had to do, and he ends up making it overly complicated. One of their players was able to get onto the end product, and instead of hitting it in, ends up just putting his head in on it. So first off, we ends up going in at half time 2-1 up. Everything looked decent. Near the latter part of the first half, they looked like they were getting into the game. They basically tightened up on us, made it a lot harder for us to break them down. And they were just pretty much doing counter-attack football, which is good against opposition who are trying to do a progressive attacking style. Second half, basically we flipped the sheet a little bit. So we took off Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey and replaced them with Mason Holgate and Michael Keane. Now, I for one was thinking, oh crap, what's gonna happen here? But in all honesty, the way Mason Holgate played, he sort of played like an impromptu sort of right back. So what ends up happening? We still had the back three. Tarkovsky was still the absolute centre point of that back line. But pretty much you had Michael Keane playing off of centre. You had Mason Holgate playing down the right, and Tarkovsky was off to the left. And what you end up seeing was Mikolenko and Patterson ended up playing as wing backs in that sort of role. They were back when they needed to be, making the challenges, being the outlet for passes wide, and they were bringing up fields with decent pace and reasonable accuracy. Patterson, I will say, he's definitely coming out of his shell there. First couple of games in the MLS, things weren't looking great. He didn't look like he was in sync with the squad. Passes just weren't going right. He was sort of getting left out in the cold when it came to being down that right wing, and he just wasn't getting the sort of possession play that he likes. However, in this game, he just played his own game. He played brilliantly. He was able to get up the field. He was able to get his passes out. He was able to do some brilliant long crosses. He was able to make challenges. He comes inside as well, which is good. So he's not just a right winger or right back who likes to stay on the right. He likes to come inside and become a little bit more centralised. So he is definitely someone who Frank Lampard needs to rely on more. So when it comes to this season, we should be seeing Patterson starting, and maybe as at the first 3 to 4 games, I would say, have him getting swapped out with Seamus Coleman either midway through the game, at the half-time mark, 60 minute, 70 minute or 80 minute mark, just as the season progresses, and then slowly make him the more mainstay right back. And if, say for example, we end up having him injured, we've got Seamus Coleman to fall back on, who is still a really good right back. Now, Dele Alli has definitely stepped up his game as well. As a number 10 that he was playing a lot more creatively. He has a lot more creative freedom. I would say the only thing is his confidence isn't fully there yet. He was more than willing to try and take people on. He was trying to actually wriggle his way through the midfield, and which is great and everything. But he was missing the key pass in certain areas. Now, don't get me wrong, he scored 2 cracking little goals. First one being from a cross, he was able to intercept from Patterson and just sort of guide it into the far corner where their keeper was just not able to get to it. And second one, I actually can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. There was that much that went on in that game. I actually cannot remember his other goal, but he scored 2 great goals. His progressive play has been great. He just needs to get some outlets that he can rely on more often. So I think that's where the likes of Damari Gray, Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin will probably come into the mix. So if you've got Damari Gray and Iwobi out in your wide areas, he can try and have them come inside for him to actually pass out to and become the outlet. And in terms of Calvert-Lewin, pretty much if he's far enough back, he could potentially just be able to chip it over the line for Calvert-Lewin to try and get onto. Either that or bring it out wide for one of the wide guys to actually cross in for Calvert-Lewin to get his head on. But yeah, so that was actually one thing to note. There was no Damari Gray and there's no Calvert-Lewin for this game. Those guys were held back as a precaution. So what that says to me is either Frank Lampard saying to them, look, you're not playing this one. I want you guys to rest your legs. You're going to play the Dynamo Kiev game. I'm going to have you play the full 90. Or something in training, either in Minnesota or when they come back to UK, has sort of raised a red flag with Frank Lampard. Either out they've said to them, look, I don't think I'm going to be able to play the Blackpool game. Can you leave me out of this one? I'm not feeling 100%. It's going to be one of those sort of outlets. It's going to be one of those. I'm going to guarantee that. It's going to be something like that. It's nothing to do with attitudes. It's nothing to do with anything like that. Because what Frank Lampard's doing at the moment, he's actually bringing a lot more positive sort of aspect into the game. The guys looked a lot more keen. They looked more up for it in this game. And I think with the Dynamo Kiev game, that's going to definitely be a game where they're going to actually be able to show their true colours as well, because they're going up against a European opposition, one that you don't have too much of a familiarity to. So it's a team of unknown quality that they're going to go up against, and hopefully they're going to be able to actually, impress, whilst also giving Dynamo Kiev the respect that they do deserve. But in any case, guys, that's me. I have rambled on for way too long now. We've been going at this for, let's see now, we have been going at this for 10 minutes and 15 seconds at this exact point. So we've went on quite a while now. I do apologise about that. But if you liked the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, let's say a huge thank you to my patrons. If you want to be like any of these guys and get your name in the sidebar here, why not go to the Patreon and become a part of the School of Science Superfan. Now, you have got 2 tiers there. So the first one being the cup of coffee tier. Hasn't got any real perks or benefits. It's essentially like getting the pounds out of your pocket and saying, look, like what you're doing, mate. Here's £1 on me. Get yourself a cup of coffee. We have, however, got the £3 School of Science Superfan tier. So what you get from that is you get your name in the sidebar, obviously. You also get early access to the brand new more footage and anything that I can actually do in a not so time sensitive manner. So whether it be pre-match stuff, post-match stuff, those sorts of things, usually you're going to get them alongside the YouTube. But you get ad-free content on the channel as well. And after you've been there for a certain length of time, you do get a School of Science sticker. Now, the School of Science sticker is pretty much yours to use. You've got no restriction on how you want to use it, whether you want to put it on a laptop, want to put it on a door, or on a lamppost outside of Anfield facing Bill Shankly. You can do whatever you want with that sticker, by all means. That is pretty much yours to use and abuse. But in any case, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. Great game today. Really happy for it. Bring on the next game and up the fucking toffees.